Alright guys, so I'm shooting this with the GoPro. Hopefully this goes good. I've got the back door off, so hopefully the audio will come through. And I got the wireless backpack so I can kind of see what I'm shooting. That makes it a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my big light, which is the TK-40. The POU on this light, I would consider it a searchlight. Or a beat the living crap out of somebody light. I keep this around the house for use in case somebody comes in and I can't get to my knife or my gun quick enough. I can blind them and then beat them with this. I know that's funny, right? But yeah, basically, manufacturer, this is Fenix. The model number is TK-40. The lamp that this light uses is a Cree MCE. The batteries on the inside of the light, it has a sleeve that comes out, and it uses AA batteries. Quite a few of them, actually 8. I like that because I've always got AA's around and they're easy to scrounge up, so this light will probably, I'll always be able to power it, etc., no matter what, even if I run out of my CR123s. But basically, like I said, the POU is definitely searchlight. And the weight on this sucker, it says 9.3 ounces on the website, but that's without batteries. On this one, I'm definitely going to give you the weight with batteries because it makes a big difference. It's 17.43 ounces on my scale. It's a heavy light. Like I said, you could beat somebody with this thing if you had to. It's got a bezel that is dirty right now for some reason. Looks like I was just using it last night in the yard, so that might be why it's dirty. But it's got a very large bezel on it, and it's got a stippled reflector in it, which takes out some of the, I guess you would call it artifacts in the beam. There you can see. Sorry about how dirty it is, but you can see it's got a good hot spot, not much of a corona, and then a good sized spill. I don't know, I'm not sure how much you guys know about all this stuff, but I didn't know too much about it. I just did some research. LED, which is a light emitting diode, was created by a guy by the name of Oleg Losev, and he's a Russian inventor. It was designed or developed in 1927, so it's been around for a long time. And what it is basically is organic materials that light up when electricity passes through them. There's different characteristics of a beam too, like there's a hot spot, corona, and spill. Those are the 3 basic parts. You can't really see, a lot of these lights are not going to have much of a corona, but this is your hot spot right in the middle, and then anything that's outside of the focus hot spot is considered the corona, and then all the light outside of that is considered the spill. There's also a couple other terms like the throw, which is basically the flashlight's ability to project light over a distance. Most of these lights are all considered, they're floodlights. They all have hot spots, but they all have a good deal amount of spill, and that's what creates your, it basically gives you the ability to see stuff outside of what you're focusing on, which for me, that's a must on all my flashlights. The TK-41 also, just to give you a couple more quick details, TK-40, the light, it has brightness levels. It starts at 13 lumens, then it goes to 93 lumens. So if you hold, that would be 13, that would be 93, 277 lumens, and then 630 lumens being on full brightness. I think I've got some footage of this in the desert, so I'll roll that in so you can see what kind of throw this has and what the hotspot and flood look like at distance. But basically that's the TK-40. The next light I'm going to talk about is the TK-35. It's another Fenix, again model TK-35. This one uses a Cree XML-L, and basically this uses CR123 batteries. It's got a sleeve that pops out. This one is expensive to run, as you can see. 4 batteries. I've got 2 rechargeables and 2 Tenergy brand news in there. I like this light a lot. This fits right into a magazine pocket, like in any kind of load-bearing gear. If you have like a chest rig or something like that, you can remove two mags, 230 round P mags, and insert this flashlight. It fits perfectly. This one's got a slightly smaller bezel than the previous light. It does not have any stippling in the reflector. It does have artifacts in the beam. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, in the beam area, or excuse me, in the hot spot portion of the beam, there are artifacts in that. It is fairly focused, but it does lose the focus on the hot spot at distance. And this flashlight will throw a beam, I would say, effectively about 250 meters, roughly. This one throws a solid beam about 300 meters, maybe a little bit more than that. POU on the TK-35, again, I'm going to say searchlight. It's not really a good home defense light. It's kind of small. There's no weaponization of the light, so you can't use it to hurt anybody with. You could definitely blind somebody. But like I said, the main reason I got this light was because it slides right into a mag pouch. This one's too big, it doesn't fit, and it just becomes a little bit bulky. So when I'm out in the field, this will go, if I'm wearing my chest rig, this will go into one of the mag pockets. The next light we're going to talk about, this is the TK-21. This flashlight works on two CR123 batteries. There's no sleeve in this, removable sleeve that is. The batteries just go right into the flashlight like so. Very traditional. I didn't take my weapon mount off. This is the Viltor. I forget what the model number is of it, but it hooks onto the rail on my foregrip, my AR-15. It has a relatively small bezel, I believe it's an inch and change, and it on-off is tail, and then it's got a gray switch on the side that it changes the levels of light. This TK-21, again, manufacturer Fenix, model TK-21. It uses a lamp, a CRXML-L, CR123 batteries. POU for this one is tactical weapons light. And here's the basic lumens on it. It's got a really low setting. I don't know if you can even see that. That's 4 lumens. Then you go to 56, 172, and then its max output is 449 lumens. And this light weighs in at about 5.3 ounces without batteries, and it only goes up about, I believe it's 7 ounces when you add the 2 CR123 batteries. All these lights are IPX8 rated, so they're waterproof, up to whatever it is, 8 to 10 feet, and no, I haven't tested them all. And one more thing before we get too far along. TK-40 price point on this is about $139. The price point on the TK-35 is about $110. The TK-21 price point is about $95, and this will throw a beam a good 200 meters, maybe even a little bit more than that. And it's very usable at distance. It has a nice clean hot spot on it, and it does have a non-stippled reflector on it. So yeah, there's artifacts in the beam, but at distance it's fairly well focused. This is probably one of my favorites until very recently. Actually, my favorite until very recently. I just purchased this not too long ago, so this is a new light to me. This is the Surefire P2X Fury. I don't know if you guys can read that, if my camera's in focus or not. But this is, in your hand you can see this is only about 4 or 5 inches long. Again, manufacturer Surefire model P2X Fury. This uses a, I'm not sure what lamp it uses. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't find it anywhere when I was doing my research, but 2 CR123 batteries. POU on this would definitely be like a tactical weapons light or a handheld tactical light. It's got 2 settings on it. The first setting that you see right there is 15 lumens, and then the next setting on it, it pops up to 500 lumens. So this is a 5.7 ounce light, which is fairly light. It costs about $100, and you're talking about 500 lumens. That's incredible out of a flashlight for this amount of money and that weight. Like I said, it doesn't have a very large bezel on it. It is stippled, and it does have a fairly focused beam at distance. It's got a good amount of spill, and I'm really liking this. I use it out in the desert. I definitely have footage of this, so you can see this throws a beam surprisingly well. I'm saying 250 meters, maybe 300 meters on that light. So this is a phenomenal deal. Considering the weight, the cost, the size, and the batteries that it runs on, this puts out almost as much light as this TK, actually more light than this TK-21, and almost as much light as this TK-40. This is an awesome light, and it's about time Surefire stepped it up and put out a 500 lumen light. Everything's been 200 lumens, ridiculous. Very glad that they did that. I'm not paying $100 for a 200 lumen light. They put one out that puts out 500 lumens. I bought it 3 days after it came out. My next one, and again, this is also one of my favorites. This is the Quark, longest name of a flashlight ever. Quark 123 Turbo, or yeah, Quark 123 Turbo Squared Light by 47s. The reason I like this so much is it's very small. You can see it's even smaller than the Fury in comparison. It weighs almost nothing. This light weighs in at 2.9 ounces without batteries, so call it 3.9 ounces with batteries. $74, and it puts out 230 lumens, so it's a pretty good deal. It's got settings as well. Let's see if I remember. The thing about this light is it's super complicated to set it up. This is the thing 47s does with their lights. You got to twist and click and twist again 4 times and click 9 times, and you need to know some sort of secret fucking code to make this thing work. I just leave it on 230 lumens because that's what I use it on. And honestly, I don't even know how the hell they get it to 0.2 lumens, 4 lumens, 22 lumens, and 85 lumens, which are the other settings that I never use on it. The reason I keep it around 2.9 ounces, it's very, very light, it's small, it has a non-stippled reflector, and the bezel is just about an inch, maybe even a little bit under. So this would be a really good weapons light if you were in a situation where 230 lumens would be sufficient, because it's so light. But if you try to get any of these weapon light holders on it, the diameter of the body of the flashlight is like 0.81, so it doesn't fit into any of them. You're going to be wrapping it with a ton of tape to get it to work. Back clicky switch on and off, and then like I said, you got to spin the bezel like 19 times and stand on your head to get it to change its settings. And to be perfectly honest with you, making the user interface that complicated is a huge mistake. And for some reason, 47s, every light that I've ever got by them, which I have plenty of them, there's always some sort of huge mistake in each light. I've sold most of them that I've had. This is the only one I've kept, and they seem to spend too much time on like their 50,000 million fucking lumen floodlight that you can see on the moon, and not enough time thinking through the user interface on their individual flashlights, which is probably their bread and butter. Anyways, moving right along, another Fenix. Like I said, the manufacturer is Fenix on this. This is the E11, and this uses the Cree XPE lamp. It works on one AA battery, which you can see here. Whoops. Just pulled the tail cap assembly apart by accident. But anyways, it uses one AA battery. This has 2 settings on it. The first setting, I believe, is, geez, what is it, like 28 lumens. And then you twist the cap. And the second one, my daughter wanted to join us. Don't touch it. What is that?
Camera.
That's right, a camera. What are those?
Daylight.
Daddy's flashlights?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And what's Daddy doing? He's making a YouTube video, huh? You want to touch the iPad? iPad. That's your favorite, huh?
I want to get down.
You want to get down? Okay, here. Come over here and you can help me. I'll be right back, guys. Alright. The kids are back inside attacking each other. I'm going to start over. So, this is the Fenix E11. This is a, what do you call it? POU on this would just be like an EDC light. This one, the Quark 123 square turbo, could also be a good EDC light. I do carry this and the headlight with me every day in my kit. But basically, this one, the E11, uses a the XPE LED lamp. It weighs in at 1.1 ounces without the AAA battery. So I think it's somewhere in the department of like 1.6 ounces. It's about a $29 flashlight. I have quite a few of them. The beam on it, it's a working light. It doesn't throw light more than probably about 20 meters, maybe 30. It has two settings, 28 lumens and I believe 115 lumens, which you can barely see over the light. And this has a twist the cap kind of adjustment on it. You can't even see the less light beam, but 115 lumens. Like I said, about 20 to 30 meters of light. EDC, it's very small. You can see in your hand, probably somewhere in the department of like 3.5 inches long, and I'd say about a ½ inch in diameter. It does have a clear, non-stippled reflector, and it's IPX8, and it's been beat to living hell, and it still works. These are very tough little lights. A lot of people like to carry the Preons. I prefer this Fenix E11 because of the higher lumen output. This is also my son's favorite flashlight, and I do keep it tethered, usually in my pocket, to the D-ring in my Tad Gear pants. The Force 10s have a little D-ring in there, so I keep them fastened and then tucked into one of the pockets in my pants. And it's very, very convenient to have this flashlight around. So yeah, no notice carry check. This is going to be on me. Basically, that's about all there is to say about that. Now this, man, I've watched so many videos on YouTube, listened to people rant and rave about the best headlamp ever, blah, blah, blah. It's a bunch of bullshit. None of the headlamps that I've ever seen compare to this headlamp. This is a zebra light. This happens to be the H31. This is my favorite. This has a couple of settings on light. It comes in at 5 lumens, which I'm pretty sure you can't see that. The next setting is 43 lumens, and then the high setting is 220 lumens, which I don't know if it's going to do right now because the battery's probably low or dead. I just got back from the desert. But this has, the reason I like this headlamp is because it has a hot spot and then a very good spill area. There are quite a few artifacts in it, but I mean, you're dealing with the reflector that's stippled, however you say it, and the reflector is probably about, I don't know, what, less than a ½ inch. This thing weighs, and this is why it's so awesome, this thing weighs 1.37 ounces with batteries, and you can see it's very small. I've got another one. This is about all there is to this thing. It's just tiny. This by itself weighs nothing. I think probably maybe under an ounce. The headband, which is also very light, and comes with it, along with this rubber mounting piece right here, which you can actually, if you have a piece of Velcro, you can run the Velcro through this and then go through like Molly webbing or Pals webbing, whatever you want to call it, and wear it like on your chest rig, on the what do you call it, on your backpack, shoulder strap, that's normally where I have my other one, and it's a very powerful light. It weighs nothing. You can wear this on your head for like 5 hours and not even know it's there. It just unscrews. It's got a clicky switch for on-off and settings, and then you unscrew the tail cap here, and it uses one CR123 battery. So it's IPX8, so it's waterproof. And they used to send them out with glow-in-the-dark rubber mounting pieces. It just slides in and out of this rubber thing. Like I said, this is the ultimate headlamp right here, in case you guys are wondering. It's the Zebra Light H31. It uses the XPG Cree lamp. Its lumens or settings, the brightness levels are 5 lumens, 43 lumens, and 220 lumens. And it's about 64 bucks. You can find them on sale for 48 bucks. That's when I buy them. And it weighs 1.3 ounces with batteries. So this whole gig is less than 1.5 ounces. It's got, also real quick, it puts out, it's got a high Kelvin rating too. It's like 6100 or 6500, something like that. And it's got a 10 or 11 degree hotspot, which I like. It's fairly tight. So when I'm working, it's very bright exactly where I'm working, but then it's got an 80 degree spill. So that means that it's illuminating a great deal of area in front of you. So this is it, man. Go get one of these if you don't have one. Zebra Light H31. You can buy them online from a bunch of different people. This is the ultimate headlamp, just FYI. So all those guys out there, Such, Nut and Fancy, oh God, everybody pretty much has an opinion. I've never seen anyone do a review on this light. I've never seen anybody using this light. I've never heard them even talk about it. That's the shit right there. Go get one. Anyway, so like I said, I'm trying to keep it brief. I'm probably already at like 20 or 30 minutes. But these are my flashlights, at least my favorite ones. And if you guys have any questions or you're interested in any of these lights, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer questions in the comments about their use. This light I've had probably for about, I don't know, Jesus, since it came out, like at least 3 years. This one's about the same. This one I've had for 2 years. This I've had for about 2 months. This I've had for, oh, probably about 1.5 years. And these, I don't know how long I've had these, for years and years. These, the Zebra Light I've had and worked with for probably 4 years now, 3 years. So I have experience with all these flashlights. But anyways, flashlight vid. Alright, real quick. Backyard footage, flashlights. Check it out. This is the TK-40. Oh shit, it's a fucking zombie. Run! That's on high. That would be low. I don't remember what the BLs were, but there's the next level, third level, and that's high. And you can see on the wall there, that's probably about, I don't know, like maybe 10 yards away. The spill on the beam is huge. So it illuminates a great deal of area, but the spot is also pretty big. I'll show you some desert footage for the throw on this, but it gets way out. But that's the TK-40. Next is TK-35. That's low. You can see the artifact right in the middle of it on the zombie's chest. That's whatever the next level is. 2, 3, and it won't go into bright for some reason. I think probably because the batteries are dead. Anyways, that's the TK-35. Comes the TK-21. That's the TK-21 on low. You probably can't even see that. Oh yeah, you can actually. And TK-21, that's on its low. Next BL, and that's full. You can see the hotspot does not have a very defined edge on this light, which is why I use it as a weapons light. It is very bright from the center, and then the hot spot goes into corona, and you can't tell, and that's just at 10 yards. Further out, it's even better. So you can see the corona kinda. There's a little bit of artifact in that. I just kicked down. But really big spill on this one too. And that's in full brightness right there. It keeps kicking down because the batteries are dying. TK-21. Now let's go to the Surefire. There's a Surefire on its night low lumen, and there it is at 500 lumen. Again, you can see the reason I like this light, the hot spot washes into corona at distance, and then the spill is huge. So this is another really good weapons light. But that's 500 lumen Surefire. Here comes the 4.7s Quark 123 squared turbo to the 4th power, 19 times 8 plus. Just kidding. And that's its 230 lumens. This one you can see has a very defined hot spot. The spill is again very large, but it's not very bright. So it's you know, it is what it is. 70 bucks or whatever the light is. It weighs nothing. It's a good EDC light. There are definitely some artifacts in the center of that spot, and not very much corona and a lot of spill. And that would be the Quark 123 squared turbo, 4th power times 9. And here goes the Fenix E11. It does illuminate the zombie at 10 yards. It's probably only good about 3 times that distance right there. But you know, what are you going to do, man? I know this thing, it's tiny. And then this is going to be my headlamp. And you can see that does pretty good. That's on high. Let's see if I can get it to go low. There's the low setting. There's the next setting up. There it goes, high, right there. And you can see that's a pretty good amount of light for a headlamp. It's lighting this whole corner of my backyard up. And for an LED, it's really warm light too, which I actually like at times because I can't see color. But you can see the spot is not super well defined, but it is there, and the spill is huge. So there's the spot off to the left, and it's still in the spill, the zombie that is. And you know, does a pretty damn good job for a headlamp. Alright guys, $20 Bandit. Thanks a lot guys. Have a good night.